Guys, I don't think y'all are ready for the TCL QM8 TV. I mean, I wasn't. Let's talk about that. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and TCL recently flew me to New York to attend its 2023 TV lineup unveiling event. Typically, this kind of event is where TCL would remind us of what we saw at CES, give us some inside baseball info on its product and marketing plans for the year, and then dish out some details on the pricing and availability of its TVs and soundbars as it prepares to start actually shipping its products out. Yes, you will be able to buy the new TCL stuff very soon. Anyway, I managed to finagle some testing and video shooting time at this event. I do know that at least one other person did some TV measuring and one other person shot some video, but I think I might be the only one who did both. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Speaking of, if you do like, please click like. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, now would be a great time to do that because I have some killer TV content coming out this year. Thanks as always for your support. Okay, so about this QM8. So I think many of us were expecting some good things from the TCL QM8. Based on some of the DMs, emails, and comments I've received, there's a lot of interest around this TV. And I think that's because A, what came out of CES looked really encouraging. Also, B, TCL changing its model number convention and kind of restructuring its TV lineup a bit might have had us wondering if the QM8 would be all that and a bag of chips, or possibly just another iteration on what used to be known as the 6 series. Now, I'm going to talk about why the new model numbers, TCL's 2023 strategy, including what I think is some huge news about its NFL partnership, and I'll also be getting into the Q7 and Q6 TVs a bit in a future video coming soon. But for now, I really want to focus on the QM8 because, y'all, this TV really surprised the ever-loving out of me. Sorry for the beep. We try to keep things family friendly here, but I can't say shocked because I expect TCL to keep me on my toes, but I didn't know that the QM8 was going to be that good. Now, before I get into some of the measurements I got, let me first say that this is not a full review. I will be giving this TV a full review once it arrives here, and I've been able to spend more than 6 hours with it. But I was able to gather quite a bit of intel on this TV, which I'm about to share with you. Before I do that, just a few reminders about this TV. The QM8 is the only TV in TCL's lineup that has mini LED backlighting. That's the M in QM8. The sizes go from 65 inches all the way up to 98 inches, and it's in that 98-inch model that the TV has a whopping 2,300 local dimming zones. The smaller the model, the fewer the zones that are needed, but the zone count is commensurate with the size of the panel. And I can vouch for the fact that the 85 and 98-inch models that I saw had identical backlight behavior. The QM8 has a central pedestal stand right up to the 85-inch model, but the 98-incher has feet to increase stability. All of the sizes have a subwoofer built into the back to go along with 2 downfiring speakers. And the TV has 2 HDMI 2.1 inputs and can do either 4K at 144 Hz or 1440p at 240 Hz using some game accelerator trickery that I'll talk about in a future video. The QM8 runs Google TV and runs it really well, by the way, and supports pretty much like all the things. The only thing I didn't check on is whether it has an ATSC 3.0 tuner built in, and I wasn't able to confirm anything by the time I shot this video, but I'll let you know in the full review. Now, let's get into performance, and to lead things off, I'm going to do a special limited edition version of Numbers for Nit Nerds. And I think everyone will want to stick around for this part, but you can always skip ahead if you want to using the time codes in the description. So the headline here for you Nit Nerds is that the QM8 did indeed hit 2,200 nits using a standard 10% white window. And it also managed the same with smaller windows. As with most TVs, the brightness diminished the bigger the white window got. However, the 85-inch model I tested, which apparently just made it to NYC the day before and had not at all been vetted, managed to put out just shy of, get this, 1,000 nits from a full field white window. 1,000 nits, full screen. Now, there are some caveats involved there, but I'm getting to that. I'm not done being shocked yet. While the TV registered those peak luminance measurements using standard testing procedures of putting a white window up on the screen and measuring its output in SDR and HDR, there's another test that I run where the CalMan software I use does a rapid fire of increasing window sizes from small to large and measures the output from each one. And guys, let me just show you the chart from CalMan so that you can see for yourself. The TCL QM8 peaked at almost 3,200 nits in this test, and there you can see at 100%, it settled at 941 nits. So what does that all mean? Well, in short, it means the TV is capable of being incredibly bright, like flagship 8K mini LED TV from competing brands such as Samsung bright. Don't even bother asking if it's a good bright room TV. You can watch this outside in full sun. It's that kind of bright, though I would not recommend that as it is not weatherproof. But why, you may ask, did the TV peak at 2200 nits with one test and 3200 nits in another test? How is it outperforming TCL's own promised performance? Well, if those questions sound familiar, that's because you're a loyal fan, thank you very much, who has seen me make the same observations about Hisense TVs. Now, when I asked Hisense why their TVs consistently outperformed their own claims, they gave me a line about liking to underpromise and overdeliver, which not a bad business practice to exceed your customers' expectations, right? But I suspect there's more to it than that. This is just a theory, but I believe that variances in manufacturing, variances in the performance of various parts in the TV, mean that not all units of a particular model perform exactly the same. So it's possible that one QM8 could be just a touch brighter than another. Same as, say, a Hisense U8K or U7K. They set a baseline that they can guarantee. And then if and when it outperforms that performance baseline, well, lucky for you. But there's another piece to this. Why did the readings I got vary from test to test? Well, I think that goes to how the processor in the TV perceives what it's displaying. As we've seen in the past, sometimes performance on testing patterns isn't indicative of real-world performance. Now, in cases where the testing pattern performance outpaces real-life content performance, that's not good. But when real content performance is better than the test patterns, that's frustrating for me, but excellent for you. I suspect that the rapid-fire test went by quickly enough that the processor in the TV acted as it will with real content, and that real HDR highlights could punch up into the 3000 nit territory on some units. That speaks to the TV's flagship level brightness performance, and I just was not expecting that. I mean, 2200 nits on its own is great, but the fact that it might go above that is pretty notable. Of course, high brightness is only part of the picture, pardon the played out pun. So we also need to know how the backlight dimming controls are. How's the blooming and or halo mitigation? And I have awesome news. What I saw was fan-freaking-tastic. Excellent black levels, truly top-notch dimming, inky blacks where they needed to be inky. Like, I was gobsmacked at how good the dimming on this TV was. It was light years ahead of the TCL R646 that I regularly use in daily life. Enough to make me jealous. Now, I wasn't able to delve into finer details, like how well it maintained shadow detail or whether it crushed blacks to an unacceptable level. That's something I'll dive into when I have more time with the TV for the full review, but I was delighted with what I was able to watch in the time that I had. As for other elements like color accuracy and color volume, I'll say that the QM8 definitely needed some grayscale calibration to look its absolute best and most accurate. Not a ton, but I do think a calibration will be needed for the highest level of accuracy. And it did about 96% of the P3 color space and about 75% of the BT 2020 color space. All right up there with some of the best TVs that you can buy from the past couple of years. From what I was able to watch, motion looked good, banding was minimal, like the processing looks pretty solid. For a minute though, let's just set aside all the measurement stuff and let me tell you what it was like to just experience watching this TV. It was phenomenal. This TV looks gorgeous. It's bright, brilliant, colorful, it's got great black levels, the contrast is there. Everything that you really want in a high-performance TV, this TV is doing and it's doing extremely well. It's the kind of TV where you walk up to it, you'll look at it, and you're like, just wow. At a level that TCL has not achieved before. And I think that's what the big news is here. TCL has seriously stepped up its game. It's like, here's our premium tier, we're putting up against everyone. And we're not just offering great performance at a great price. We're offering top tier performance at a price that is absolutely just laughing at the competition. I mean, I was kind of sold on this TV already, but then TCL hit me with the pricing. And that is when I knew that this TV was going to be huge this year. The 65-inch model is going to MSRP for $1,700, which means the street price is going to be even lower. Now that may seem like a lot for a TCL TV, but when you consider this TV is absolutely competing against the likes of the Samsung QN90C and even QN95C in terms of performance, it's gonna come in at least $800 less than the competition at the 65-inch size. Also, there's only $500 difference between the 75 and 85-inch model, which means I think folks are going to want to go big with the QM8. Of course, the 98-inch model is just a beast, and so I would expect a lofty price. But you might be surprised to know that the 98-inch QM8 is going to come in right at around $10,000. Again, that's a lot of money, but keep in mind that the 2021 Samsung QN90A 98-incher came in at $15,000. And that ridiculous 98-inch QN100B that we saw at CEDIA last year, that's a $40,000 TV. Without a doubt, TCL is bringing some massive value this year. That's always been its bag. But now we've got the QM8 out here offering true flagship performance that competes with the best 4K TVs out there, coming in at a very attractive price. And honestly, folks, I just think the QM8, unless it does something very bad that I didn't catch at the event, it's going to be the must-have TV of the year. I just hope TCL is making enough of them. Thanks as always for watching, everyone. What do you think about the QM8 so far? Excited for the full review? Let me know down in the comments. Definitely let me know what questions you have so I can do my best to answer them in the full review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, here's 2 other videos I think you might like.